Hey, just in case anybody is wondering, we're also not going to have a panel at Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Sorry about that, but just setting proper expectations. What's going on, everyone? We are the Cinefanatics. This is the Tagline. My name's Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
So those of y'all that have weather apps, take a good look at Austin, Texas right now. Man, we're having a lot of noisy noise outside.
This show will be over in 5 minutes because the power and internet and everything will go out.
Very likely, yes. So stick with us in the meantime, as our impending doom is forthcoming live on YouTube. Anyways, a lot of things to go through. How's everyone doing tonight? I do see William Harold in the chat. I see, was it Polkaraj Roy? Please tell me if I'm mispronouncing that. Thank y'all for being here. We definitely appreciate y'all being here tonight. I've got a lot of fun things to talk about. Before we actually get started, the funniest thing, and I'll probably talk about this a little bit later just because I found it super funny, that one of the news stories we were talking about is later on is going to be about Barbie having a hard time finding like theaters and times to show. And I was going to talk about like, who knows when these tickets are going to go on sale.
Today.
You pronounced my name correctly. Oh, good. That's a first, as my brother can attest.
Can't even get my name correct.
Yeah, like so. That's good. Glad to hear that. Anyway, so yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll talk about some more in regards to the to what's going on with Barbie and Oppenheimer in a little bit. But y'all know how the YouTube things are. Do the YouTube things. Y'all got the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button. Help us out. That's fantastic. Y'all have any questions, comments, issues, complaints? Streamlabs.com/Cinefanatics. A good way to get our attention. There is also Patreon.com/Cinefanatics. Hop on the tier that is good for you and your budget if you think we are worthy of your support. Also, please keep in mind, if you are going to hop on the Patreon, at the end of this month, there's still only going to be 2 tiers left. We'll have the $1 tier and a $5 tier. So if you are hopping on that Patreon, just know that those other tiers above the $5 tiers will be gone by the end of this month. But what is happening this month still while the tiers are in existence as they are? Well, tonight, after the Tagline, as long as our power and internet's still working, we will be doing a watch-along of Raiders of the Lost Ark over on our Discord. So if you are a part of our Patreon, you can go to the Discord, join us in the voice chat. We will be watching Raiders of the Lost Ark. If everyone has Disney Plus, we'll probably do that fancy group watch thing that they have on there. So that works out very well for usually everyone when we're watching those movies. So we will likely be doing that tonight. So again, hop on that $5 tier if you want to join us tonight.
Also, real quick, guys, for all those who are on tiers above the $5 tier, make sure when the month comes up for the renewal that you don't re-sign up for the $25 tier, because we're going to be removing it, and I don't think we can remove it if there's anybody at that tier. So here's the thing. We've got watch along, we've got trivia. Once trivia is done for this month, just put yourself on the $5 tier. It's that easy. That way we can remove the tier come next month. We can remove the $25 tier come next month and be hassle-free and all that. I think this only really applies to a few of y'all anyway. So the few of y'all who are at that tier, just hop on that $5 tier after trivia is done for this month. So
yeah. Speaking of which, next Wednesday after Tagline, we will be doing our movie trivia hangout. So if you are at that Maverick tier, the $25 tier, you can join us for that starting next month. It will be at the $5 tier. So it's a lot more approachable for those of y'all that want to come hang out, play some trivia with us. Big fans. We are huge fans of movie trivia over here. Fun fact about that, actually. I don't know if you knew this, Chris, but you know the movie trivia Schmodown, which we've absolutely loved. You know how they've been reloading all their episodes lately? Mm-hmm. They've been re-uploading them. Today happened to be the day that they re-uploaded Mike Kalinowski versus Mark Donica, which was the very first Schmodown episode that we recorded a reaction to. So that is
way back in the day.
I might repump out our reaction for people to go back and watch it, just if you want to fall back into that nostalgia of yesteryears. It's not the best quality.
We don't have to do that.
It's not the best quality, and we don't have like a good full like on-camera personality yet. In fact, I still don't think we really have good full. Okay, I don't have a good full on-camera personality yet.
We can repost it in the Discord, honestly. And hey, you know, if you're part of our Discord community, if you're part of the Patreon, jump on the Discord, and if we get around to reposting the link of our first Schmodown reaction, you can watch it there.
Well, yeah, like I was thinking of just taking the link of the reaction that already exists live and just posting on Twitter, like, hey, by the way, come watch this again too.
That's okay.
Anyways,
we can do it in Discord.
Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that episode's out today too, so that's a lot of fun. What else do we have going on? So we've covered all the Patreon things. Upcoming shows next week, Friday of next week. Not this coming Friday, but next Friday after Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny comes out. We will be doing our... I don't have anything for it yet. We will be doing our marquee, where we will be tier ranking action and sci-fi Harrison Ford movies. If you are part of our Patreon on the Discord, there is the list of movies there that we will be tier ranking if you want to watch those to catch up and join us live next Friday for Harrison Ford movie.
I made some pancakes if y'all want some.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Fuck yeah, I want some pancakes.
It's always so good. Anyways, yeah, Harrison Ford, National Treasure, not Nicolas Cage, National Treasure, Harrison Ford, National Treasure. We will be tier ranking those movies next week, and we'll have a couple of guests with us. Not really announcing who yet. We'll announce those next Wednesday, but I mean, I'm just saying that it's a couple of guys who like movies. I mean, so we're in good hands with this. Anyways, moving on. Chris, what have you watched for the first time this past week?
The Flash.
The Flash. Okay.
The Flash. I watched The Flash.
I too have watched The Flash. Also caught up on Clear and Present Danger, and watched Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull for the first time. So those are all leading up to that Harrison Ford tier ranking that we will be doing. But yeah, The Flash. We're going to talk some more about The Flash here in a little bit. So we do have a spoiler-free review that is up right now. So if you want to know our thoughts on it, go check that out afterwards. And yeah, let's get into some movie news because we got a lot to talk about.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen,
good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
All right. Let's talk about your box office. Obviously, we're talking about our domestic box office, usually what we always cover here. We like to chime in and look at the worldwide too here and there. But right now we are opening the box office this week. Guess what's at number one?
Flash.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not Across the Spider-Verse. It is The Flash. The Flash is number one this week. It's been reported, obviously, $55 million as a domestic intake is insane. It's insane. It's an insanely low number. And that's very unfortunate for The Flash because we know that budget was really high for that film. And looking at, so this is the one I do want to bring up the worldwide. Looking at the worldwide total, 140.9, almost $141 million is a crazy, crazy low number for this movie. Does not bode well for what we see as far as the DC EU's last remaining films. It also goes to show, and this is a whole discussion that we absolutely can have at some point. We might have tonight. It goes to show that you absolutely should not have announced the new DCU while you still had DCEU movies coming out that you were committed to releasing still. Because that movie is taking a hit. Nobody wants to go see it. Nobody wants to go see The Flash. And it's for a myriad of reasons. I think most of which is that there is a whole new reboot coming to the DC universe. And so nobody really thinks that these movies matter. Because they're like, if you're part of a large franchise, why do I care about this installment of that franchise if that franchise isn't continuing anymore? It's like if I know a TV show on TV is getting canceled, why am I going to bother starting to watch it right now?
Well, like for a really good example, I'm kind of curious as to thoughts on this. If Marvel had come out and said, hey, by the way, we got this new Avengers Endgame movie that's coming out. It's going to tie up everything, all the loose ends and the cliffhanger from Infinity War. But just to let you know, no one's going to die. Everyone is going to live through it. Would you have still like been both of us, yes, we still would have gone to see it, but I'm wondering, would general audiences still have been interested in seeing it, knowing that there's no real stakes? No one is going to die.
Well, because, death is not the only stakes you can have in these movies.
Sure. I'm just using that as an example.
The example being someone could get lost in the quantum realm for 5 years. That's some stakes. That's some actual stakes for those characters, but so I think you'd still have people going to the theater for it. It's an unfortunate spoiler, and no studio would be dumb enough to tell you that spoiler unless your name is Mark Ruffalo. But other than that, no, I don't know if that would be the case. This is kind of a different and I would say almost more unprecedented situation where you have a cinematic universe that you're committed to doing, but you just have to reboot the entire thing in order to actually do it. And there's still movies left over from the one before.
Yeah.
And I think studios are getting ahead of themselves, honestly, a lot here.
So real quick, having an ADHD moment. You were sitting there reading all that stuff, and I was going to put this up on the screen while you were reading to see how long it would take for you to...
Your ADHD moment is killing me here.
So, yeah, for the context, if y'all don't know, that's from Bruce Almighty, where he makes Steve Carell say that. It's so funny. Good quote there.
Right.
Yeah, so like what Lego's saying, there's a reboot. DCEU movies aren't that great. The Flash TV show, I don't think people like that take on that character in Snyder Bros. I'm also wondering, you may have meant it by the I don't think people like that take on that character. There's also still a handful of people that are going to refuse to go see it because of Ezra Miller.
Not that many, though. I mean, if we're being completely honest, I doubt considerably most people who go to the movie theater, one, even know who Ezra Miller actually is. Two, even pay attention to anything that Ezra Miller has done at all in their personal life.
Or actually cares. Or maybe, hopefully, we're getting to a point where some people are like, yeah, I understand that one person did that did something bad, but the rest of the cast and crew, I'm going to go support them.
Yeah.
Not enough people doing that, though.
Yeah, it's and that's kind of usually my take is if there's one person part of the production that did some bad stuff, why should everybody else suffer for their problems?
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's The Flash. Number 2 in the box office is actually Elemental. Elemental did pull out number 2 this weekend with 29.6 million itself. So again, very low numbers.
Mike Deacon.
Yeah. Very low numbers compared to where Pixar should be with its releases. Again, there's a whole discussion to be had there about what Bob Chapek did before during the pandemic, pretty much pushing Pixar movies to Disney Plus, getting everybody used to the idea that Pixar movies are Disney Plus releases with Soul and Burning Red. Or Turning Red, not Burning Red.
Burning Red. It's like, did he say Burning Red?
Burning Red, Turning Red.
Something's burning in red.
Listen. I'm a man. I can't really speak from certain viewpoints, but I imagine same difference. I'm imagining in my mind same difference. You ladies out there can let me know if I'm accurate or not. Anyway, with Pixar movies being kind of pushed in most people's minds as Disney Plus releases now, people aren't flocking to the theater necessarily for new releases or original Pixar movies. Mm-hmm. We'll go see sequels or something, but anyway, that's where Elemental's at. Number 3. Now here's the kicker, because this is the fight that we've been talking about from last week. It's between Transformers and Spider-Verse. Which one was going to hold that number 3 spot or whatever top tier spot given with Elemental releasing too.
Thank you, Lego.
Hey, consult your physician. Consult your physicians. Anyway, who do we think took the number 3 spot? Was it Transformers Rise of the Beast, which just came out last week? Or was it Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, which came out, several weeks ago?
I'm actually I'm hoping it's Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, it's Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay, good. Real quick, didn't you say you saw or read something that the studio had fixed the audio issues and sent that out to the theaters?
I read something that they were sending out new versions that had fixed audio in them. Might be too little too late, but I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm not we got enough movies we still have to see, so I'm not in an all-fire rush to go see Across the Spider-Verse again.
Unfortunately, that's a whole topic of discussion around the box office this summer, with every single weekend having a major release that must be seen in the theater. It's very hard for a lot of these movies to pick up their repeat viewings, their repeat showings. In this case, if maybe Transformers didn't come out the next week or what have you, if we had a 2-week break, maybe we could have gone to see Across the Spider-Verse again. Maybe we would have. But unfortunately, there's just so much coming out every single weekend right now. So,
well, also, for example, we're saying this from the standpoint of we do movie content on YouTube. So when a big blockbuster movie comes out, we have to go see it, review it, react to it.
Even still,
that's what the YouTube overlords are wanting. Your casual moviegoer
might still do that. For example,
I'll be honest. If I wasn't running a YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't be in an all-fire hurry to go see Dial of Destiny in the theater. Just saying. I'm not a huge Indiana Jones fan, but just using that as an example, I probably wouldn't be running out to the theater for that. But I will because I want to review it and talk about it. So just so for that, that might be a person who's not an Indiana Jones fan. They may choose to go see Across the Spider-Verse again instead.
Yeah. But it's just the fact that there's a movie coming out every single weekend that kind of keeps a lot of audiences from being able to, because everyone only has so much time. They're going to pick and choose what movie they go see. Yeah. And if it's there's a new movie this week. Oh, or Spider-Verse. Well, I saw Spider-Verse last week. We're going to go to the new movie this week.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to hurt. That's hurting all movies across the board right now. It's just studios need to start thinking in 2-week increments. I want to have 2 weeks. You guys get 2 weeks. We all get 2 weeks. There's plenty of time between June, July, and August to be able to spread those out. So anyway, Spider-Verse is number 3. Transformers number 4. Number 5, of course, is The Little Mermaid. Number 6, we got the new release of The Blackening. So opening at number 6 this weekend. Comedy horror movie. Number 7, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Number 8, falling down the list, is Boogeyman. And number 9 is Fast X, with number 10 opening. And this is I feel like I said this. I feel like I said this last week. Opening at the number 10 spot, Asteroid City. I feel like I said this last week. Rewind the tape, somebody. I'm pretty sure I did.
Possibly, but also keeping in mind that was a limited release. It had a limited release on the 16th, and tomorrow, I believe, is when it's going to open wide. So,
yeah. Anyway, that's your box office this week. It's looking something crazy with all these movies coming out, I swear.
The Room has its 20th year. Man, you want to feel old. There you go. 20 years ago, The Room Oppenheimer's going to bomb. That's good.
I'm fed up with this world.
Yeah. 20 years ago, The Room came out. Jeez. That's crazy.
2003?
I guess.
High school. I was going into high school in 2003.
Yeah. I don't think I found out about it until late 2010 or like 2009 or something in there. 2010 sounds about right. Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone's saying like the July box office is going to be crazy too. Yes, it is, especially with both Barbie and Oppenheimer, which we will talk about later.
Along with Mission Impossible.
This
is definitely going to have a hand in it too.
Yep. So, I mean, obviously with, Oppenheimer and Mission Impossible, there's going to be a lot of box office take coming in there. But of course, we have to talk about
I literally go nowhere without them.
I promise I will get around to editing a new one. Hopefully we have some time for a new one for a little bit before we actually see the movie. Here's the thing. Guys. Not a big Barbie watch this week. Not a big one, but a very, very, very important one. Probably the most important Barbie watch since the start of this long-running, very tired bit. The tickets are now on sale. Get your Barbie tickets. The tickets are now on sale. Where's the horn? Where's the sound effects? Hype, hype, hype. Go get your Barbie tickets. It's insane. You can get Barbie tickets. It's finally on sale. Go get Barbie tickets. Hype, 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 hype.
I literally go nowhere without them.
So we were trying to get the tickets for the 19th, which is a Wednesday, and so right now the original plan was to be doing the double feature of Barbie and Oppenheimer in one day, which is a lot of movie. That's 5 hours of movies, not including like the previews, hanging out at a movie theater pretty much all day.
Like a 45-minute layover between the two films.
Yeah, a little bit of a break in between. So we were trying to get that the 19th, but trying to coordinate it because we're also coordinated with our friend Torie, who's going to be here in town visiting with us. So she's going to be joining us for those double features. Trying to coordinate like getting 3 tickets all at the same time caused us to not be able to grab the tickets for that Wednesday. So we are back to the original plan of that Thursday is going to be a double feature, Barbie and Oppenheimer. So stay tuned because Thursday the 20th, we are going to be living in a movie theater. We might make like a whole vlog or something about living in a movie theater and what you do with that. Bring a pillow and blanket, extra clothes, adult diapers. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah. But also keep in mind, like if any of y'all are out there planning on doing this, there's reports right now about Oppenheimer being a little bit hard to take in. We would recommend that if you're going to do the double feature, again, we'll probably talk about this here in a little bit. This good chunk of this whole tagline this tonight is going to be a Barbie watch. But we would recommend probably doing Barbie first. I know usually you want to do the more lighthearted thing last and do the dark bummer thing first. So, you kind of get raised back out. But I don't think you can fully appreciate Barbie if we watch Oppenheimer first, to be honest.
Plus, the movie theater that we go to did not allow us to schedule it that way. We have no choice but to see Barbie first and Oppenheimer second. So
that's true too. It just worked out.
Yeah. So, anyways, yes, we're going to talk some more about Barbie here in a little bit. We're going to go back to talking about The Flash in a minute as well. But before we get started on any of that, there's some other big news in a segment I would like to refer to as Robert's pissing off his neighbors. Yeah, good call. For anyone wearing headphones, you might want to follow my brother's lead.
Oh.
Chris just looked at the show notes and he knows what's coming.
I know.
There was some casting news revealed this past week. What was the casting for? It was for a little movie known as Mortal Kombat! Okay, pissing off the neighbors. Anyways.
Here's the thing. Luckily, it's very loud with lightning and stuff and thunder and stuff right now, so you might actually have been blocked out.
Possibly. Our neighbors are like, what's going on with the Mortal Kombat over there?
Test your might.
Yeah. Anyways, casting news was released. They are moving forward with, I guess it's going to be referred to as Mortal Kombat 2, which I know is confusing with both a video game and Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which I still attest is not a real movie. So
it doesn't exist. You didn't see anything.
Yeah. James Remar just happened to get a paycheck for something or another back in the late 90s.
Good for him, you know? Good for him.
Anyways, so we've got a lot of returning. Unlike Mortal Kombat Annihilation, had that movie existed, it probably would only have like 1 or 2 people returning from the first Mortal Kombat movie, even though that first Mortal Kombat movie was already made up of a bunch of like no-name actors that just really weren't that popular, except for I think Christopher Lambert and Robin Shaw.
Are we still talking about Annihilation? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And also, what's his name that played Shang Tsung? I'm not trying his name, but Kari.
Sure. Yeah.
That guy.
Don't hang out there if you're not going to do it.
William Harold, Annihilation is real. It has the best rating. Oh, God, I cannot stand. When he gets the redone or whatever, and he comes up with the shaved head, he's like, yeah, it's my new look. I'm like, oh, God, no.
Wow.
Anyways.
You know what? I got to hand it to you. That was an excellent James Remar impression.
It was. Yeah. Anyways, so casting coming back. Pretty much everyone from this first Mortal Kombat, the 2021, is coming back. New additions. It does look like, I guess, Carl Urban did officially sign up to play Johnny Cage. You got Toddy Gabrielle as Jade and Adeline Rudolph as Katana. Simon McCoy is coming back to direct, and then you've also got newcomers that were added this past week. Let me see, where are they? You've got Martin Ford, who was in Red Sonja, or he's going to be in Red Sonja. Desmond Chaim from Joyride, Anna Thu Win from Suka, and Damon Harriman, who, if that name sounds familiar, he has played Charles Manson in 2 different things. There was a TV show, and I forgot what the TV show was that he was in that he played Charles Manson in. He also played Charles Manson briefly in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then he also did the voice of, I believe it was Cabal in the 2021 Mortal Kombat. He's coming back this time and playing Quan Chi.
I felt bad for him there for a minute because I thought he was going to get typecasted as Manson.
Yeah. No, now he's going to get typecasted playing what I believe is like an Asian character. I believe it's probably going to be a circumstance where the character is going to be CGI and he's just doing the voice, much like he did with Cabal. Although there was an actual actor playing Cabal, he was just doing the voice, like ADR'd in or whatever. I believe he's going to be doing the same, because I can't imagine, if y'all have seen Damon Harriman and what Quan Chi look like, they don't look alike at all. Not at all similar. So I'm guessing it's going to be some kind of like CGI voiceover.
Who knows?
Yeah. Going back though, Martin Ford is going to be playing Shao Kahn, which he looks like he could probably play Shao Kahn much better than what's his face that played him in Annihilation. Oh, I'm trying to remember what his name was.
And you know, rightfully should be. You rightfully should be confused, because that's a heck of a character on the select screen to pick from.
Oh, that is going to upset me. Brian Thompson. Brian Thompson was also in Joe Dirt, and throughout the 90s had Brian Thompson like shown that he was a really good actor. He was also like one of my picks to play Apocalypse, had they ever done an X-Men movie with Apocalypse. Yeah. So he looks just like him. Just dye his skin gray and give him the blue lips and tubes and stuff. Good to go.
Lips and tubes and stuff.
Yep. It's the first time and only time I've ever said that sentence. Anyways, so you got Desmond Chaim is playing, I guess, King Gerard. And then you've got Anna Thu Win is playing Queen Sidel. So there's Queen and King. And then again, Harriman is playing Quan Chi. So that's a pretty big cast. Here's hoping we actually get to the tournament this time, because that would be Ducky. So
we'll see.
Anyways, that's it for the Mortal Kombat 2 casting updates. Let's go back to talking about some Flash for a minute. First of all, because of how well I would say the Flash is made, regardless of how much money it made in the box office, as we previously just talked about, it's a very well put together movie. I can't fault any of like the casting for like just not putting together a good watchable movie. I thought it was very entertaining. It was good as far as pulling in like different characters. We got like this random Supergirl that we haven't had in the DCEU before. Now we got Supergirl in here. We brought back Michael Keaton's Batman, even though it's probably not the same Batman. It's just a Batman in another dimension. Yeah, I don't know.
It might be. I mean,
it could be. It can be. We don't have any proof one way or another.
Gotham's had peace for a while, apparently.
Yeah, but yeah, we've gotten all these characters pulled together for this. Woo. So it makes sense that James Gunn had asked Andy Muschietti to direct Batman Brave and the Bold, and I believe he has been confirmed to be directing that. So I'm actually I'm happy with this choice. I thought like how he brought together everything for the Flash, I think it worked very well. Where we foresee Batman and Brave and Bold going the direction it is headed, I think he's a good director to helm that. So,
yes. Here's the thing with the Flash. The Flash movie, say what you will about it, I think any of the sequences that had Batman in action, honestly, anything that featured Batman, all Batman sequences in that movie, character arc, just everything about Batman in the Flash was excellent. I thought it was exactly as I would like to see Batman. This is the Batman I want to see on the big screen. This is the Batman that exists in a world of other heroes, functions in that world, and still can hold attention and direction in and of himself. That's the Batman I want to see. So, Andy Muschietti getting locked in to direct Batman the Brave and the Bold, that's a big win for me. It's a big win for me. Say what you will about the movie of The Flash. There's a lot of things that you can throw at it in different areas and kind of blame different people for different stuff about different things and different flaws. Whatever all of that might be, I think ultimately when it comes down to it, just the bare bones, Andy Muschietti directing Batman Brave and the Bold, from what we've seen, what he did with Batman and the Flash, excellent. And I'm very much looking forward to it. I think he is a perfect director at this point for it. As long as we don't have any weird CGI microwave babies in Batman.
Yeah, please keep babies out of your microwaves.
I'm not 100% certain that's even his decision, though, so we might not.
If we're able to teach you just one thing tonight, don't put babies in microwaves. You can quote me on that because I've said it. Anyways, so yeah, I like the idea that it's probably going to go more of the route, kind of like I've said this before, what I want to see in a Batman movie. I'm tired of like the Batman movies being dark or realistic. Give me that good old-fashioned comic book Batman where he's building a Bat family. Bruce Wayne's got his Alfred, Robin, all the different iterations of Robin, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne now, like all the different Robins. Give me Huntress and Catwoman being a part of the Bat family with Batgirl. Like, give me all of them coming in. Do we have like the ability to put in? Nobody puts baby in a microwave. Nice. All the other characters that we've seen as a part of the ever-growing Bat family, I want to see them in a movie come together. Hell, if you could throw Batmite in there, that would be awesome. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm going to pretend that I know what that is.
Oh, Batmite? Yeah, go look up Batmite. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I think it's in good hands, especially seeing like again what Andy Muschietti did for the It movies, Chapter 1, Chapter 2. He brought together a bunch of people as essentially like really good friends, family of some sort. I think it would work with what they need to do with that Batman movie. So I'm happy to hear that.
Plus, also, I completely trust James Gunn with, you know, where these characters need to go and the direction they need to go in order to reach and appeal to audiences. I think he knows the DC characters well enough to be able to know who should really be in charge of bringing these characters to life. So I trust James Gunn picking Muschietti for that role.
There's issues with chapter 2, yes, but I don't think a lot of those issues were necessarily the things from Andy Muschietti. I don't know. A lot of the issues I have with chapter 2 are just the circumstance of that the movie was made like 2 or 3 years later. So
instead of being filmed back to back.
Yeah, it would have worked better if it was back to back. But anyway, speaking of Andy Muschietti still, a lot of people were talking about the visual effects shots from The Flash. I'm not going to completely spoil anything, but there is a couple of scenes. I'm just lightly spoil.
Oh boy.
There's some scenes where Flash is in, I believe it's referred to as like the Chrono Bowl. It's basically Flash is running so fast he's able to turn back time and cue the Cher song right there. But if I could turn, no, he's in what essentially looks like a coliseum of like the things that he has seen in his past, in his life. And it's very computer generated graphics. Yeah, the graphics aren't good. I don't think they were supposed to be. So I don't think like the faults that I hear of people having with CGI, a lot of people are referring to that Chrono Bowl sequence and everything, like all the old shots that they're used for CGI, but I believe it was meant to look like that. And of course, Andy Muschietti came out saying, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be fuzzy and blurry. Think about your own memories. When you think about that time back in grade school where you were being harassed by a bully, or you were really happy that you got the attention of the girl you have a crush on, or whatever, you still remember those, but they're very fuzzy. You don't remember them clear, crisp. That makes sense. So I know that's what a lot of people were going after. I know like some people were also going after like some of the legacy nods that they had in there. Christopher Reeve, Adam West. A lot of people had issues with that. I had gave my opinion on Twitter for it. I think it's okay, but I don't know if that's necessarily a conversation I want to do full blown here.
I have one question about all of this. So yeah, Muschietti's talking about the visual effect shots. Yes, all of this was supposed to look bad on purpose. So my question to him is, did the CGI microwave baby also need to look bad on purpose? Because the CGI microwave baby did look really bad. Now, here's the thing. The answer to that question actually probably is yes, because if we had photorealistic babies falling from a hospital and one of them was gently placed inside of a microwave by the Flash in order to keep him safe, and it's all photorealistic, that would be maybe just an inch, a hair more disturbing than that entire sequence already was, which is saying a lot. So maybe it's good that those babies looked like a complete cartoon. And if you haven't seen The Flash yet, this is real.
Yeah. I do like Lego saying, but that one cameo, yes, there is one cameo. One cameo in this movie. One specific cameo.
Well, she's talking, yeah. She's talking about one cameo that she's enthralled with. And I completely agree. I think that cameo was that was it was a mind blowing. I did not see that coming.
That was a chef's kiss cameo. And I think we said it like at some point, whether it was in a review or just in real life, if John Schnepp was alive to have seen that, oh, he would just be the happiest person on the planet. So
I think he would have been beside himself with joy.
Yeah.
That being said, there is also one cameo in that sequence that maybe isn't the best.
Yeah.
Maybe isn't the best choice of a cameo. And I really don't even honestly want to get into it. That's just my slight opinion. And if you know that sequence, maybe you can deduce which one of those cameos I find a little less tasteful than the rest.
The specifically the history of that actor and the character that actor is portraying. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I was okay with the outside of like those specific CGI shots for the Chrono Bowl and whatnot. I don't think I really had a problem with any of the other CGI. Like the blending the two Ezra Millers together. They both were really good on camera together. I didn't see like any kind of issue with like the CGI blending on that at all. So
yeah, on top of that, I will say that as far as that movie goes, never once did it take me out of the fact that Ezra Miller was acting with himself.
Yeah.
Basically. I legitimately saw two different Barrys, which I think is a testament to the filmmakers, everybody involved in actually making that work. That's a whole aside, to be honest.
Like Lego's saying that Brandon Routh should have got one.
There's a reason for that.
They did.
Because Brandon Routh was playing the Christopher Reeve version of Superman, and so they did actually give a cameo to that Superman.
Yeah, okay. So I was thinking that they left out all the TV Supermans, but I forgot Brandon Routh was not a TV Superman. He was a TV
sort of
Adam. He did have one. There was one episode in like one of the.
He played the Kingdom Come Superman on TV.
Yeah. But yeah, like they left out Dean Cain, probably a good idea. They left out Tom Welling, which unfortunately he wasn't really officially Superman anyways.
I also just don't think he wants to come back and do that role anymore. I think he had enough with the little cameo he made in the TV event.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to some Marvel news real quick. Guys, Incredible Hulk is on Disney Plus now.
Which means we can finally go back and do Incredible Hulk with our Marvel watch-alongs, even though we're way past that movie at this point.
It might. I know that actually might be pretty good to go back and do that as we get closer to Captain America: New World Order, or not New World Order, Brave New World, whatever the title they want to give it now.
Serpent Society.
Yeah, Serpent Society. Yeah. We could probably do that. That would make sense since it does involve a lot of Hulk characters as well, and bringing back like Thunderbolt Ross and stuff. So
possibly.
But yeah, we can actually do that. I guess that was just the distribution deal that Universal had with Marvel and Disney.
Yeah.
Over that movie.
Yeah. So Marvel has the distribution rights for the character of the Hulk again. So if they wanted to make a new Hulk movie, they can, and they will retain everything. So that one I wasn't able to go and look up more details on this. I don't know if you did, but is that actually releasing the Hulk in general, or is it just this movie? That's all part of it. They had a 15-year run on the rights, and that 15-year run ended.
Oh, that's right, because it came out in 2008. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That 15-year run ended, which is why Incredible Hulk can be put on Disney Plus now.
Interesting. So yeah, it's time for the Incredible Hulk 2, finally.
So we'll get a Hulk family movie, since the end of She-Hulk very much looked like a Fast and Furious movie anyway.
It did. Family.
Everybody raise up Coronas and smash.
Yeah. It's the proper thing you should do with Coronas. I do not like that beer.
Anyway, Incredible Hulk on Disney Plus. Yeah. Looks like Marvel Disney has the full distribution rights to the character of the Hulk back, which makes me wonder. I feel like Namor was part of that same deal. I don't know if Namor was time-wise looped in the same timing as Hulk, but I feel like that means they should also theoretically have the distribution rights to Namor back too. So if they wanted to make an entire movie just about Namor, they could. Yeah.
So I wonder. Well, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. So I wonder what was the legalities that let them distribute Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, or at least put it on Disney Plus with Namor being a part of it. Not realizing that by asking that question, I'm completely ignoring the fact there's been so many Marvel movies that have had Hulk in it that have also been released on Disney Plus and whatnot. So yeah. Okay.
So if that's the case, then those are some of the last few characters that Marvel did not have full and complete control over coming back home. The only ones now being Spider-Man and his posse.
Speaking of which, they had another movie. You remember Sony said that they announced that there was another movie being made, this character called El Muerto.
Played by Bad Bunny, yeah.
Played by Bad Bunny? Yeah, no, it's got delayed now, probably indefinitely.
I don't see that movie happening. I just don't.
So a couple of things with this. First of all, as far as I know, and I can be wrong with it, I have not caught up with, I'm not like still catching up with comics or whatever lately. So I'm not fully, I don't know who this character is really.
It's okay. People who read the comics don't know who he is either.
But we were talking about before, especially the reaction to the Craven trailer that came up this past week. There doesn't need to be a Craven movie. There doesn't need to be a Madam Web movie. And whoever this El Muerto character is, there doesn't need to be a movie about him. Definitely. I'd rather have a Craven and Madam Web movie. At least I know who those characters are. But so I don't know. I know a lot of the delay, the story that was announced that said it was delayed is saying it's being delayed because of the writer's strike. And then the problem with that is the delay is going to push it into off of Bad Bunny's timetable because he's going to go on tour. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this movie is going to get made, but it just so happens to be around the same time that Craven trailer came out. With the exception of a few people that we absolutely adore and love their opinions on anything Marvel related in a movie fashion. Coach Andrew. Most people do not seem to be liking that trailer.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand why. Again, we don't Aaron Taylor Johnson looks good.
As good as Aaron Taylor Johnson can look as Craven.
Correct. I think they're doing a good job on him specifically, much like, again, I think Jared Leto looked fantastic as Morbius.
As good as Jared Leto can look as Morbius.
Yeah, I think they did a good job on like how they look and are essentially portrayed. It just looks like the story overall, this is another, like Craven, this is another story about someone having an issue with their father and it looks like it's like the Dr. Savannah from Shazam all over again type of thing. It
looks like the same exact movie that Sony has already made with Morbius and Venom and
that too.
They all, because here's the thing I said, the tagline for Craven, villains aren't made or villains aren't born, they're made. That feels like a tagline that could work with Morbius, and it feels like a tagline that could work with Venom. Like literally, it could work with any of those movies. They're all such cookie cutter blueprints of each other.
I'm just gonna start taking movie posters that have already existed for decades, and I'm going to Photoshop that tagline on all of them, and I'm just gonna post that up just for funsies.
Casablanca, villains aren't born; they're made.
I might do like some small tweaks to it. Like I did one on Twitter saying guacamole is not born, it's made. Like I might do something like that. But yeah, it's such a very, very generic tagline. YouTubers talking about movies are not born, they're made. Welcome to the Cinefanatics. Like that kind of generic.
Castaway, best friends aren't born, they're made with the blood on your hand and on a volleyball.
on a volleyball. Well said.
Test your might. Dun, dun, dun.
More. No, I'm not doing it again. Anyway,
a little crazy there.
Yeah, let's talk about our main topic tonight.
Good, because I don't want to talk about El Muerto anymore. That movie's not happening.
Yeah. Speaking of testing your might. J. Robert Oppenheimer versus Barbie. Fight. That's going to be a huge, huge weekend, and I'm so curious as to where it's going to go. Box office wise, I feel like we have a really good understanding. You and I were talking about this earlier. Very likely Barbie's going to take that weekend just because it's going to be, I believe it's probably going to be PG-13, so it's going to have a wider audience appeal. Oppenheimer's going to be rated R because you can't make an atomic bomb without saying some F words. And yeah, and not to mention it's about an atomic bomb.
Fudge!
Only I didn't say fudge. You made an atomic bomb and you said the F word? I'm going to wash your mouth out with soap. Anyway, so yeah.
Don't make that bomb. You'll blow your eye out.
You'll blow your eye out. F-bombs. That's great.
Get it. That's funny.
Anyway, so first thing that's going to be interesting is I saw a news article that was saying that Oppenheimer may be poised to take third place. That's right, third place. Because out of this, so far, we've only been really focusing on Oppenheimer and Barbie, and we're forgetting something.
Mission Impossible.
Before Mission Impossible comes out, and is very likely still going to be doing very well come the following week. So analysts are saying that there's a good chance Barbie will take number 1, Mission Impossible will take number 2, and Oppenheimer may take number 3. Why? Because one, Oppenheimer is a movie about a historic figure creating the atomic bomb. That's not necessarily gripping television or movies that people are eager to go run out and see. But what is going to help sell it is, 1, the cast, 2, Christopher Nolan. And I think that's definitely, like, if you are a Christopher Nolan fan, you're going to go watch this. If you are a history buff, you're going to go watch this. If you are a very, like, not just a normal casual moviegoer, you're someone who really enjoys the whole movie experience, that you find yourself in the theater every week, you're going to go see this. If you're running a YouTube channel where you talk about movies, you're going to go see this. So that's your audience.
This is going to be an interesting triple header between these 3 films going into the box office, because 2 of these movies can get away with not filling every seat with a butt. One of these movies needs multiple weekends in order to make its money back and succeed.
Oppenheimer?
No. Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible is going to be the one that's going to suffer the most out of this.
What's its budget?
Mission Impossible's budget is $290 million. So it needs to make damn near almost $600 million in order to break even.
290. What was Endgame's?
I don't know. I can't remember. But both Barbie and Oppenheimer are both sitting at the 100 million mark.
Endgame was 356 million.
Yeah, Endgame made its money back easy.
So Mission Impossible is 290. That puts it up there like one of like the probably top 10 highest budget movies. Also keeping in mind that your marketing is roughly going to be about the same as your actual budget. In this case, probably a little bit less, but
so that's what I said, that Mission Impossible needs to make damn near $600 million in order to effectively break even, or pretty close to break even.
Jeez.
So it needs the success of multiple weekends. Unfortunately, it's going to get undercut the next weekend with both Barbie and Oppenheimer, who both only need to make about 200 million in order to break even. Neither one of those movies will flop. Both those movies will be great successes. Oppenheimer will be the one, I think, that does end up in third place. The biggest reason isn't necessarily just because nobody will want to go see it. I think a lot of people will want to go see it, especially when they start hearing Nolan's name attached to it. Mm-hmm. Nolan's name does sell movies. It's the 3-hour runtime that's going to kill that the most. When we're looking at tickets, we're only looking at there being one showing of Oppenheimer on that Thursday, right?
Yeah.
That's why Oppenheimer will take third. They don't have time to have multiple showings of Oppenheimer on release weekend like that. Especially when we're talking about there being screens being fought between all 3 movies.
There was this too. I forgot I read about this as well. So yeah, Oppenheimer got to marketing to IMAX theaters before Mission Impossible was able to. So there's not going to be too many IMAX screens for that as well. For example, here in Austin, Texas, we have a couple of theaters that have what's referred to as a LIMAX. It's a bigger screen than a normal traditional movie theater, but it's still not like a full IMAX.
It's not a true IMAX.
When you say IMAX, you're talking about like 4-story tall building screen type of thing. Like it's huge. This is like just a bigger than normal screen. The preview screening I went to for Guardians Volume 3 was on a LIMAX. It was big, but it was really like that was the threshold for how big I want a movie to be.
Go bigger. You're big. I've seen bigger.
Yeah. Anyways, like the true IMAX screens, we only have one in Austin, and very likely I haven't looked it up because I don't want to go see a movie on that screen.
It'll absolutely have it'll have Mission Impossible, and then the next weekend it'll have Oppenheimer, guaranteed.
Yeah. And that's going to be it. Like Mission Impossible only has that 1 week in that one theater.
Especially considering that theater is in the Texas State History Museum. Mm-hmm. And so when we're talking about like history, we're talking about museums, they obviously, like, if they had any say
yeah.
whatsoever, they would probably want to favor Oppenheimer over Mission Impossible anyway. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be an interesting fight between those three. And my prediction, honestly, Mission Impossible is going to take the biggest hit, which is fine. And in all honesty, they probably could take the hit on Mission Impossible because they already have planned for Dead Reckoning Part 2. I believe, what is it supposed to be next year?
Something like that. Yeah.
So they already have planned to wrap up the franchise. It's got one more movie after this, and it'll be, donezo before a reboot or a TV reboot or whatever they plan on doing with it. Mm-hmm. So honestly, it can take the hit, and it's just going to be what it's just going to be. But I think that it would have been better in this situation if Mission Impossible had the foresight to had moved their date several weeks beyond, because August right now doesn't feel like it's completely 100% stacked up. And so I feel like Mission Impossible probably could have come out early August, somewhere around there. I can't remember what else coming out in August, but I do remember it not feeling as stacked as June and July are. Yeah. So Mission Impossible probably could have come out in early August and probably would have secured that spot and been completely fine with taking the IMAX screens and absolutely would have made its money. But I predict right now Mission Impossible is going to take the biggest hit of the three.
Yeah. So kind of piggybacking off of some of that, before today, I kind of mentioned this at the beginning, at the top of the program. Before today, there was a news article saying that because Oppenheimer has already been selling tickets for what I feel like is like the past month. They've already had tickets and show times and everything decided out with the movie theaters. Barbie was having a hard time trying to find theaters and get like the actual scheduling hashed out. Because again, you got like Mission Impossible the week before, so that's going to probably take up a couple of screens per theater. And then now you also have Oppenheimer that's probably going to take up a screen or two per theater. How do you have room for a third blockbuster coming in that should be taking up multiple screens as well? So yeah, I read the report about Barbie having issues like that. Apparently it's not that big of an issue because tickets went on sale today. So, but yeah, like I know we were waiting for Barbie to come out so we could figure out how we wanted to do this double feature with Oppenheimer. Yeah. We've got it now that Barbie tickets are on sale. We've got it figured out because we can easily see it. Plus, yeah, our theater only has one showing of Oppenheimer, so I'm guessing that's how they're making room for Barbie. Because I still don't know what the dates are. We don't know the dates specifically for Mission Impossible on July 20th.
Yeah.
So.
Also, the other thing to keep in mind too is, again, like I said earlier when talking about their budgets and everything, Barbie and Oppenheimer only need to make like $200 million in order to like break even on them, because their budgets are both $100 million each, which is crazy for Oppenheimer, by the way. It's actually insane that movie's budget is $100 million. And I wonder if the number I'm looking at doesn't include certain aspects. I know it doesn't include marketing, but if it doesn't include certain other aspects, because if you look at how stacked the cast is in Oppenheimer, it's insane to me that movie can be made for $100 million, given just the paychecks awarded to the cast itself. I know they saved a little bit of money, I think, on the visual effects side, because Nolan is adamant about doing so many things in as practical a sense as possible, which I believe in some cases does actually cost less than hiring a staff and outsourcing CGI work to be done on a movie. So maybe that's where they kind of made up some funds. But I mean, that's a stacked cast. So yeah, I think Barbie and Oppenheimer are going to walk away absolute winners in this situation. I think both of them are going to make all the money in the world that they need to make. And I know a lot of people are also saying Barbie might be one of the biggest winners of the entire summer blockbuster season. We'll see. The fact that it does have other big movies coming out around it, though, is just the same thing as I was talking about earlier with, the problem with the movies this month is everyone's kind of eat into each other's total box office. So that might be still a situation that we see in July with all of these movies and whatnot.
Yeah. So looking up Oppenheimer stuff real quick, it does say that like Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, and Emily Blunt took pay cuts to work on the film, earning $4 million each in lieu of their usual 10 to 20 million salaries.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that kind of helps a little bit there. I'm also, I don't see anything here saying it, but I'm willing to bet that there's probably a couple of them, probably Cillian Murphy, that are, instead of taking like an upfront cost, they're probably taking a percentage of profits on the movie on the back end. Which in a lot of times, especially on big blockbuster movies, that can be very, very rewarding if you choose that option. It also says on here, just for funsies, some of Nolan's demands included a production budget of $100 million and an equal marketing budget, a theatrical window of at least 100 days, 20% of the film's first dollar gross, and a 3-week period before and after the film's release in which Universal, who's distributing this movie instead of Warner Brothers, before and after, in which Universal could not release another new film. So yeah, like Christopher Nolan's just damn near becoming his own movie studio is what it sounds like.
Listen, he honestly, like, you give him flack in any way you want, I understand, but his negotiating power, his name holds weight now. Look at all of his movies. There's really only one of them. There's one of them I haven't seen yet, and it's his first one, Following. I need to watch that still. And then there's another one. There's one other movie of his that I'm not the biggest fan of. Everything else he's made, I think, is fantastic. And I think it's Insomnia. Insomnia, I'm not like the biggest fan of necessarily because I thought it was kind of dull. But everything else he's done has been fantastic to me. I've loved all of his movies.
You know, it'd be fun. We should tier rank Christopher Nolan movies. Just an idea.
Anyway, so yeah, his name comes with some weight to it, and rightfully so. I mean, when he broke up with Warner Brothers after the whole Tenet fiasco, and Universal swooped in, Universal was like, hey, Nolan, would you like to come be exclusive with us? And he was like, yes, I would. Like, Universal was like, please, Mr. Christopher Nolan, come here. Because they recognize.
You said, hey, but I heard Babu Frick, hey,
Christopher Nolan. Yeah.
I heard, what's her name? Moaning Myrtle? Or whatever?
Moaning Myrtle. Yeah, same voice.
Same voice. Same actress doing the voice.
That's what Universal was doing, though. So there's a reason for that. Christopher Nolan knows what he wants, and he knows how to get it done. The 3-week window between Oppenheimer and any other movie tells us why Oppenheimer wasn't coming out so quickly after Fast X, but also why we don't have another Universal movie coming out so quickly after Oppenheimer. I think it's a smart deal. I really do.
And that would also signify why it's being released at the end of July, because typically your August summer movies is like the movies that are like, hey, these could be good, but we don't think so. So yeah, we're going to dump it in August. Like here's Hope and Ninja Turtles. But
yeah, but also Nolan may have been even smarter than we give him credit for here, given how stacked the summer has been. It might be the smartest thing in the world for Universal to not actually have another movie coming out right after Oppenheimer. Again, given how clogged up the box office is with so many big name movies coming out.
We'll see how that works out for them. The final thing in this regard to Barbie and Oppenheimer is, I think this was reported yesterday, that Christopher Nolan is saying that some people may just have a hard time watching Oppenheimer. It may just be too heavy, too weighty of a story. It's kind of a downer type of thing, which, again, if you're going to do a double feature, I don't know if you want to do Barbie first or after that. Like, I guess I know, again, we were saying that we don't have a choice. We've only got one showing of Oppenheimer at the theater we typically go to. So we're forced to go a certain way. But like after that movie is over, is this going to be the kind of movie you're like, I don't want to deal with life for the rest of today. I just kind of want to go to bed and just like Control Alt Delete and reset my brain for tomorrow morning when I wake up? Or are you going to leave the theater going, okay, well, that was dark and depressing. Let's go get some pink in our lives. And
and that's the thing too, is I think if those are the reports, if it's all true, if it's like that kind of mentally draining, I just don't think there's enough energy to go try to experience Barbie after Oppenheimer. That's why I think you got to do Barbie before Oppenheimer if you're going to do the double feature. And for everybody not running a YouTube channel, this is what I actually do recommend for you. Do them on different days.
Yeah.
Don't do a double feature. Make it a double feature weekend, not a double feature day.
Yeah. Probably what I would recommend. Anyways, that's going to be a fantastic weekend. I can't wait to see both of those movies, and I'm super curious, even though I don't have a horse in this race. I'm super curious to see how the box office is going to be after that weekend. But yeah, I think it is safe to say it's going to be Barbie number 1, probably Mission Impossible number 2, and Oppenheimer third place.
I feel like that's a very safe prediction. There is a world, if Dead Reckoning is good, there is a world, as much as I'm looking forward to Barbie, there is a world where maybe it's so close and Dead Reckoning could just barely edge out the same way that we were talking about Across the Spider-Verse and Rise of the Beasts. There is a chance that Dead Reckoning could hold 2 weekends. And if that's the case, that's the best case scenario for them. But I do honestly believe there is so much hype with Barbie that I think the safer bet, even if it is going to be close, the safer bet is to probably put it on Barbie as number 1.
Yeah. Garth, now I'm become Barbie, improver of moods. Anyways, that is going to do it for the tagline tonight. That is it for the movie news for this week. So again, all of y'all watching live, thank you for being here live. If you're watching this on a replay, let us know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down below in the comments while you're down there. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. Again, recapping what's going on here in a little bit. Now that we're ending tagline, we will be over on our Discord in roughly about 45 minutes or so. Let's give some time for bathroom and snacks and food and whatnot. We'll be over on the Discord doing a live watch along of
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. So come join us. If you're not on the Patreon already, join at the $5 tier and come join us here in a little bit, especially if you have that Disney Plus so we can do the group watch. It works very well. So come join.
Coming up tonight, Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's like an old like style movie announcement.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so that is tonight. We're not seeing any movies tomorrow, so a break from going to the theater for this week. And then then coming up we have the watch along. Next Wednesday will be the trivia hangout, so join at the $25 tier if you want to be a part of that next Wednesday. And then also next Friday, not this Friday, but the following Friday will be our tier ranking of the marquee tier ranking Harrison Ford.
I made some pancakes if y'all want some.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Fuck yeah, I want some pancakes.
Or specifically Harrison Ford action and sci-fi movies. So come join us for that. That should be a lot of fun. Anyways, that is it for tonight. Again, thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for watching. Make sure you follow us at The Cinefanatics on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me personally at Robert Adams MLP, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, also youtube.com/@RobertAdamsMLP.
You can follow me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP.
Anyways, that's going to do it for tonight. Again, thank y'all for watching. We will see you patrons here in a moment. We'll see the rest of y'all later. Good evening. Good night.